Okay, here we go. Just barely made it home today. One of my Monday doctor appointments out of town, so I missed a whole bunch of this action in the morning. Not a big deal. So, if for some reason you haven't caught the news over the weekend, I believe on Sunday, one of the European news organizations broke a story that the Berlin Gigafactory was going to be delayed, possibly up to another 6 months. So that's caused a little bit of a drop here. I mean, this could still be some after earnings reaction. So we do seem to be holding this 680 level pretty well. I got a play in here for 670, and we'll see if that works out to anything. Mainly right now, I want to see how we close the day. If we stay up over 680, if we could climb up to 690 and close this day out, I think that could give us a pretty good solid like a base setback in here. So that action on Friday really got me. So I had to trade in at what did I play? Either 680, 675 or 670, 665 last week. And heck yeah, I saw that Ethereum's having a good little run. I haven't even got and looked at my account. Is one of those things. If I was to look at that account every day, I would completely lose my mind. Like, that's way too much of a drastic swings to keep an eye on it constantly. Like kind of what happened here. I had a trade in on Thursday. It went through, and then pre-market fell down, and then started running up. And I had put in a buy to close order, like that ended up only making me a couple $100 because I wanted to be safe in case we did stumble and fall back down later in the day. And right when I got the feeling like, okay, we're good, I need to go in and cancel this order, I had just got to work and the phone rang for me, and I was going to pick up the phone and log in on my cell phone and cancel the order, and picked up the phone. Hey, this Chad, and opened my phone, and right when I opened my phone, got the confirmation that my order went through. So went from, I lost like 550, not really lose 550, I just lost the opportunity to make 550. So went from a $800 something trade to a $200 something trade. At least I win something, but I was kind of upset with myself for being just, man, 5 seconds too slow. So that'll teach me to put customers first, I guess. I can't say that. I always put customers first at my job. So what I have actually been having some pretty good luck with is wait until Wednesday and Thursday to put trades through. Oh, yep. So that is always going to be the rub when you're making trades, and if you have a longer term outlook, just start buying shares in. Like, I'm up to what I think eight shares of Tesla right now. Like, I want two more. I still think it can come back down, but I may have to just break down and finally buy my other two to get me up to 10 for the first half of the year. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But these are going to be shares I'm intending to hold for a long time. So right now I think my average is incorrect at what it shows here. I can't have a 660 average price. That would only be up, what, $25? times 8 shares, that would only be up $200, but I'm up like 1,500 something. So this is a problem in Thinkorswim. It might reset after I get more shares. I'm not sure. We'll find out sometime pretty soon. But if you can have at least a long-term outlook, it really can make a difference. Like my crypto holdings are a prime example of that. Bought stuff years ago, and oh my gosh, yeah. So that Ethereum, that's kind of crazy. I just looked. I mean, last week I think when we were talking, what was did I show what my crypto was last week? Like somewhere in the 20s, like just over 20,000, I think. So, I mean, I don't know if that'll pick it up at all, but I'm sitting around 23,692 on my pretty much $2,500 worth of crypto that I bought back in 2018. So Ethereum value 3,300, and I paid 390 for it. So almost to the point where I'm up 3 grand on one investment that I made years ago. I wonder if it'll show when I actually bought that. I'd have to go way back in the history, I think. So anyways, I mean, that's good to see. I'm getting closer and closer to having the truck paid for. So I'm pretty set right now on holding this at least for another year, unless I hit 60. If I hit 60,000 in this account, I'm just going to cash it out and hold that until my truck is done. But if it doesn't ever hit 60,000, then I'm just going to wait till I get the email from Tesla that my Cybertruck is ready to be, do all the final paperwork and everything. So then I'll just cash that out, move it to my bank account, and use that for the majority of my down payment. So gonna be holding on to it for at least a good little while now. So Tesla today, though, has been coming down. Like on Sunday, there was a news report that the Berlin Gigafactory is going to get delayed at least another 6 months. There's of course been no confirmation or any news from Tesla directly, because they don't share any information, which is very frustrating at times. But that caused a pretty good sell-off in the morning, and then it jumped right back up and did the typical fall back down. So this is getting to be a very predictable kind of pattern. Like right off the open, sell off for 15 to 20 minutes, and then a pretty good bounce, and then another stumble through the rest of the day. So what I've been trying to do lately is wait for Wednesdays or Thursdays, and when that comes through, like on this here on Wednesday or on Thursday, when we fell down here and bounced off that 670, that's when I got in and made a trade that went through while we were dropping down here, and then started working out into my favor. I was at work and didn't have time to close that out, and then Friday it ran up, and would have paid for half of the pistol that I just ordered if I was able to close that trade out. But answered the phone at work and was a little bit too late there. So for this week, I'm really going to be keeping an eye on 680. If this holds, then by Wednesday, for sure Thursday, I'm going to try and make a trade that is, only $10 to $15 out of the low of the previous day. So starting to do some tweaks to my trading strategy, and it's coming along. So instead of playing these 60% probability out of the money range at the beginning of the week, I've noticed that those same trades, they're holding their value like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and it's really they're holding them through most of Thursday also. So it's getting to the point where Friday is the day where there's really a lot of contraction in the value of the contracts. Oops, so there we go. Now it's starting to come down. Yeah, we might get filled on this. So this is my, like, Monday. I tried taking a longer outlook trade just for a week, but the idea is to, if there's a lot of volatility, it will fill this trade at a more inflated premium price, which just puts more money in my pocket, but it's hopefully far enough away that if there is a hard drop, it's got time to recover back up. So lately, most of the drastic falls have been followed by a pretty good recovery fairly quickly, usually within a day or two. But we are in kind of an overall downward movement, so it's hard to time it so that you're far enough out of the money that you don't get assigned on shares and lose the trade, but you're close enough to the money that you actually make something that's worth the risk. So right now, if I can get filled on this at $1.90 per contract, I mean, 5 of those, if I was to hold it, that's $950 if that got filled. Now, if it doesn't fill today, I'll be looking at Wednesday and Thursday, something that, like, say if today was Thursday, I'd be looking at the way it's been holding 680. I would try to make the 680, 675 trade, which is just ridiculously close to the money right now, but it is going for 207 right now. So that's $2 per contract. That would be 5 contracts, a quick $1,000. If you were able to, if you had a Friday bounce and you ran back up to 690 and stayed into the trade, there's several variables, but that's mostly what I've been noticing for the last couple weeks now. So instead of having to hold the trade for several days and take more risk, it's getting to where it's smarter to wait till later in the week and have less time risk. But if you do have a fast drop, it's gonna hurt pretty good. So there's still things that you got to watch out for. But if this was Thursday, I would be seeing that we held 680 pretty good 2 times, 3 times really, if you count that guy. So that would be the range I would be looking to trade on Thursday. But we could be 710, 720 by the end of the week, or we could be down 660. I don't think we'll get back down to 650 for a while. But if Tesla does come out and they say something about the Berlin issue, and it turns out that it legitimately is going to be delayed another 6 months, that could cause some panic buying. I mean, I would think most people are aware at this point that there's more regulation in Europe and things tend to get delayed. The fact that they have got so much done already so quickly really says a lot about how they are approaching it over there. Like, they are going really fast for what normally happens in Europe. So a few more delays really is kind of to be expected, but really have to wait and see if they come out and say anything, which if they do, it'll probably be Elon saying something on Twitter, or he may make a skit on his Saturday Night Live appearance this week and make a joke about it, and then who knows what'll happen. It's unreal. So I've got a couple friends that have actually got some Dogecoin, and I told them hold on to whatever they've got until this weekend and try to get out of it. I really don't see how it is holding the position that it is right now. I don't know. I missed that one. So, but that is the definite downside of trading. It seems like no matter what you're watching, there's always going to be something else that somebody gets a piece of that is bigger and better than whatever you're playing. So, I went through my first few years really struggling with that, and I was bouncing. I would probably look at 15 to 20 ticker symbols a day, just bouncing between them. And I would always miss the moves because every time there was a move setting up, I was looking at a different symbol. And by the time I found out what was going on and got back to the one that was having action, the move was gone, and no sense in wasting money later. So best thing I ever did for my trading was to slow it down and let things happen. Like, just learn one thing. I started learning Tesla really well and figure out a strategy that I can do where I don't have to babysit it all the time, and just figure out what works best for me. I've got that figured out now and having some pretty good luck with it. Oh yeah. There so the Ethereum is probably going to be the most functional one so far as making things work in the world, like the way you can do contracts and everything like that. Like, I tried to explain it to some people at work where you buy a motorcycle or a four-wheeler and you got to take the MSO, and then we've got to fill out what we have to do. Then we have to mail that. Like, I have to get it in the UPS envelope and physically mail it to the bank that's going to. Then they have to keep a hold of it. And then when the thing's paid off, that has to be physically mailed to the customer or back to us. And then we have to mail it to the customer. So there's so many steps of making these physical things happen that if it was to transfer digitally, it can be just as secure doing smart contracts with Ethereum or Chainlink even. And you're just paying 30, 40, 50 cents, a dollar, whatever it ends up costing to digitally send these secure contracts back and forth, and you're not having to waste paper and physical space. So there is a huge market that can be addressed with what they're attempting to do with them. So it's just going to take it. We got to get to a point where people are actually using it for what it's intended to be used for, and not a gamble, more or less. Like, I look at most of the crypto money I have as stuff I bought years ago. I've lived without that money, so I'm used to not having it. If it all wiped out tomorrow, I'd be really, really bummed, especially with how much it's worth right now. But it wouldn't be the end of the world. But if people start learning how it's supposed to be used, and it finally starts getting implemented in the way it was intended, then it's going to have a really, it'll eventually become what it was meant to be in the beginning. It's just going to take longer than the people who created it, were originally hoping it would. So it'll get there eventually, but it'll probably go through a few more iterations and ups and downs. Oh, here we go. What are we at? 35 seconds almost now. So getting close to the end of the day. I think we're gonna piddle around this 684. We might jump up to 85. I wouldn't be surprised if we smash down to 680 the way the last couple weeks have gone. But we're gonna wait till Wednesday, Thursday, find a good spot and get a good trade in right then. So, alrighty. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So what do they give? 684.90. Yeah, got close to that 85. So it'll fizzle around some after hours. It's really going to be interesting to see if Tesla does come out and say anything about what has happened with this news story. That's going to be one of the things that I do think Tesla's stance on is going to have to change soon. Like they are going to have more of a PR department than just Elon saying stuff on Twitter. They're starting to get to the point that they're big enough they can't just keep ignoring all these stories that are coming out. So I think they want to, not put money into that at this point, but we got to be getting close to the point that it's a part of the business that cannot be ignored for much longer. So I would bet sometime this year there's going to be something coming out about a official PR department. I mean, even if it's just one person that finds the stories, gets the info, talks to Elon, talks to the other head people, and gets an official response, and then lays it out. It would make the general public and the mainstream media much happier, and I think Tesla's overall media coverage would change for the better. But we'll have to see. I think it should be done, but they know what they're doing. So what they're doing now is not working against them too bad, but I do think within the next 6 months to a year, it's going to be to the point where it's going to have to be addressed. So we'll keep an eye out for it, but fun times. So this is, my craziest Monday. Every 6 weeks, I got to go to a doctor's appointment and then run back here, squeeze in as many other errands as I can. And I've had some kind of weird weather today, but I am going to try to go out and finish some more work. I got range area, a lot done on it last week, and it's coming along really cool. I got pistol that I wanted, finally found one in stock, and I'm hoping that comes in today. Should for sure be here by tomorrow, but it's starting to come together, and I've got some cool GoPro footage. As soon as I get everything done with the range, I'm going to put a video together showing how I actually built it all up. So, Jeremy, thanks for stopping by and hanging out. I'm going to go get the next chunk of errands done. I still got dishes and whole nightmare full of stuff to get accomplished today before I can call it a day. So, thanks for stopping and hanging out. Good luck on all of your trades. It is hold and be patient. When you get some more cash, stick it in there and just keep holding on to it. It's working out well for me. I mean, obviously. So, that's almost 3 years, but that's a really good return for $2,500 to $23,000 in 3 years. So it's entirely doable. It just takes patience and picking the right things and knowing what to watch for. So everybody have a great week, and we'll be here next week. Thank you. Goodbye.